All the workers at a Taco Bell in Kansas City, Missouri walked off the job on strike today as community members cheered them on. Be hyped. But yeah, I did hear about the Minnesota teacher strike, actually. I did. I think one of the things that people underestimate is how much and how important community feeling is. And unions provide that. Unions provide that. So, you know, it looks like, and Bed Bath & Beyond CFO, I think, killed himself. Remember how I was saying, hey, don't buy Bed Bath & Beyond, or I didn't give you guys any financial advice, but I just pointed out that the Bed Bath & Beyond appeared to me not in the position of opinion, not in the position of financial advice for anybody watching my stream, that it was a ridiculous bubble. And that these super stonk websites and all these the Reddit threads are now totally astroturfed by hedge funds that are sucking up money from, quite frankly, unsophisticated dipshits. So Bed Bath & Beyond got pumped, it got dumped, and now a lot of people are suffering. Take a look at the financial information on the right if you want. Operating income negative $408 million, net income negative $560 million. Jesus Christ. This is a bankrupt company. Total equity $174 million. This thing is fucked. Bed Bath & Beyond finance chief falls to his death in New York. Police say 52-year-old Gustavo Arnal fell from a Manhattan skyscraper known as the Jenga Tower on Friday. Big box chain of the U.S. has been facing financial trouble, recently announcing store closures and job cuts. Shares in the media have been shares in the company have been volatile, being viewed as a meme stock driven by social media buzz rather than traditional economic sentiment. Yeah. Wow. Jesus Christ. 3 weeks ago it was at $23. Now it's at $8. If you bought in during the spike, you have been absolutely fucking destroyed. Jesus. Mike, the management at Bed Bath & Beyond sold their shares into their Redditors. But do you suppose that his death may be suspicious? I don't fucking know, man. An investigative reporter found fatally stabbed outside home. Award-winning Las Vegas Review-Journal reporter Jeff German was found fatally stabbed outside his home on Saturday morning. It's our hope that they find this person very quickly so we can get answers to all the questions that we have as his colleagues and friends as it relates to the work we all do, he said. It's very difficult to imagine what Las Vegas would be like today if not for all his accountability reporting over the last few decades. Jeff was not one of those larger-than-life personalities in the newsroom, but you could tell he had almost this kind of grouchy streak, and if he was walking around the newswork with a furrow at his forehead, you knew something big was up and that he was close. And you knew that Jeff was about to break a big one. German was the author of a 2001 organized crime book, Murder in Sin City, The Death of a Las Vegas Casino Boss, and was the writer and host for the second season of the Review Journal's true crime podcast, Mobbed Up, The Fight for Vegas. He was... He was doing a story on right-wing extremism. Juice and lemons, thank you for the 4 months. Rip, man. All right, chat. What else did I want to talk? Oh, this is just a story that I wanted to show you. Because when I saw this last night, Peter Thiel's investment firm is backing a menstrual cycle-focused Femtech company. That's right. Peter Thiel is backing a menstrual cycle-focused Femtech company. EV Magazine is COVID skeptical, transphobic, obsessed with traditional womanhood. Now, with Thiel Capital's help, they're launching a wellness company based on menstrual cycles. This is what I'm talking about. If you're a right-wing dipshit, you have infinite money flooded to you. Infinite money flooded to you. Jackson Hinkle is on Fox News. Can you imagine MSNBC putting me on? Can you imagine Chris Hayes bringing me on and having me discuss issues of the day. I mean, it's just an impossibility. There's no interest whatsoever in that. Incredible! On September 1st, EV Magazine, which strives to be the conservative answer to Cosmo, which promotes COVID denialism and vaccine misinformation, soft-focus transphobia, and a weird obsession with organ meats, announced a new venture, 28, a Femtech company offering workouts and nutritional tips based on users' menstrual cycles, and which requires those users to enter information about the first day of their last period. A week prior, TechCrunch announced the new venture's biggest funder, the investment firm Thiel Capital, which led the latest $3.2 million funding round, and whose founder, Peter Thiel, has a variety of other interests. Those include, of late, funding the MAGA movement to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. In 2009, Thiel famously expressed the opinion that giving women the right to vote made the country less libertarian and thus worse. In 2016, Thiel reportedly expressed an interest in having young people's blood transfused into his body as a potential fountain of youth. That, and Thiel's traditional interest in panopticon technology, makes Thiel Capital a curiously appropriate choice to partner with EV Magazine and its founder, Brittany Hugo Boom, a model and TikTok influencer turned conservative media entrepreneur. Hugo Boom uses her married name Martinez as an EV byline and a Twitter handle, and her maiden name on TikTok. Is she pretending to be Latino? No fucking shot. Hugo Boom called 28 a natural extension of EV's mission, writing that the magazine has already raised awareness around the negative impact of our hormonal birth control on our bodies and help women find healthier, more natural alternatives in a time when the subject is considered off limits by women's media. She linked to two of the many articles Evie has written on the purported dangers of hormonal birth control and touting so-called natural family planning. Isn't Peter Thiel gay? I could have sworn this is incredibly weird that he is involved in natural family planning. Conservatives are fucking brain freaks. Jesus Christ. Do you think that people would tolerate you being gay, Peter? The people that you're empowering? You fucking freak? Now that you've... I mean, Peter Thiel has done more freak shit than anyone. They're going after George Soros. Meanwhile, Peter Thiel is taking 18-year-old boys' blood.
Which is?
Are you really not familiar with parabiosis?
Can't say that I am.
Well, the science is actually pretty fascinating. Regular transfusions of the blood of a younger, physically fit donor can significantly retard the aging process. And Bryce is a picture of health. Just look at him. He looks like a Nazi propaganda poster.
Oh.
Like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Now we've introduced you to what we're calling feminine fitness, the philosophy that you should be exercising and eating according to your cycle. We're incredibly excited and proud to reveal the launch of our brand, 28 by Evie. Is there any science behind this, or is this just complete babble woo bullshit? Yes, Thiel sued Gawker to the ground. Yes, he did. He funded a bunch of lawsuits until they went bankrupt. Christy Martin was gay, but still made the worst anti-gay comments while given the spotlight. I know. Being gay doesn't mean you're not going to be homophobic. I know. 28 promises to provide personal streaming workouts, nutrition profiles, science-based horoscope-like insights for women, designed around the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle, by which they mean the menstrual cycle, the natural cycle, by which we mean the menstrual cycle. Our tech uses nature to determine where you are in your cycle and customizes your daily routine to satisfy your body's physical and hormonal needs. The tech in question is not specified, but 28 does require a few specific things from its users. Namely, despite not being a period tracking app, basic information about users' menstrual cycles. It also says that 28 software relies on user input in order to track their cycle. That data is then stored and moved between secure storage methods and transfer protocols. Both Hugo Boom and her husband Gabriel posted announcements about the launch of their company on Instagram. In his post, Gabriel sang the praises of Peter Thiel in reference to him personally, not Thiel Capital, as 28's lead investor. Based on his role as founder of Evie, Hugo Boom appears to be an aspiring musician and actor. Most recently appeared in Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. The Scourge of Paul Blart again rings true. Peter Thiel's book, 0 to 1, sets on the shelf of every hopeful entrepreneur looking to start a company and solve a problem in the world. It's a must-read. Peter was Facebook's first investor, founded PayPal, and his fund is one of the great American venture capital firms has funded many of the world's most successful companies like SpaceX. It's wild that he is now our lead investor at 28, the Femtech company my wife and I started and have been working on for the past few years. In her launch announcements, Hugo Boom also darkly warned that the wrong kind of exercise could throw women's hormones out of whack. For the majority, the most effective way to balance your hormones is through proper nutrition and exercise that's in sync with your natural cycle. Evie has long stressed the notion that women should only engage in feminine exercise, discouraging lifting heavy weights, and written about why women should, in her words, work out like men. 28's website and TikTok announcement both feature many photos of women with very long hair, delicately posing in bikinis, drinking from coconuts, and running extremely gently across sandy beaches. Oh, come on! So she's rich as fuck. So she comes from a rich as fuck family. Of course. Of course. If your cycle is your compass, 28's website promises, then 28 is your path to healthy hormones, self-discovery, and a beautiful feminine physique. This just feels like a grift to sell data on women are starting their periods to anti-abortion state agencies. Certainly that's a risk. Along with the hostility toward birth control, Hugo Boom has also tweeted about how modern women get scammed by feminism and working outside the home. That's what you're doing! That's what you're doing! It's such a scam to work outside the home, I say from my office outside the home. Say what you will about Handmaid's Tale. The funniest character in Handmaid's Tale is the wife of one of the commanders who was like one of these women. What's her name? Serena Joy. So basically the far right, you know, just to quickly summarize Handmaid's Tale, basically there's a far right revolution and civil war that succeeds in taking over most of America, and they impose this kind of pseudo Christianity on the country, and it's like a eco Christo fascist. That's the ideology, eco Christian fascism, and it's, you know, it's surprisingly prescient for being written 25 fucking years ago, or 30 years ago, or 50 years ago, whenever it was written. I think it was in the 80s. And one of the funniest characters is this Serena Joy, who was one of these like big, she was like a big, you know, she was like, who's a good character to, who's a good person to compare it to? I don't know. What's her face? No, she wasn't just a televangelist. She was more like, Ann Coulter mixed with a televangelist. Anyway, so they win. Like, the far right forces win. And then she's forced to, like, back into the home. She can't do any public speaking anymore. She can't write any more books. Women are not allowed to read or be taught to read. And it's just like, yep, you got what you wished. Yeah, she was obviously, Phyllis Schlafly was definitely a inspiration of her for sure. She apparently operated an anti-vax Tradcath magazine with her husband. Yeah, it's EV magazine. We talked about that. What's the fertility plot about? That's the crisis that the world is facing, is that human fertility massively dips, and they don't really explain why. It's kind of, I think it's gently suggested that it's environmental pollution and toxins. And so, like, because so few people are able to like have children, so few women are able to have children, that there's like this authoritarian tendency to control the reproductive ability of all the women becomes extremely important to, like, you know, basically carry on the civilization to the next generation, because natural reproduction is just like not cutting it. So yeah, you know, women are you know, valued based on their ability to reproduce, like children of men. Yeah, sure. Anyway, one particularly weird EV article posited that feminism was a psyop to get women to pay more taxes to the government. An ahistorical grab bag of words that also manages to get in some fretting about Marxism. By pushing women out of the home, Marxists were able to achieve two goals at once. They destroyed the biologically strong glue of nuclear family while doubling their workforce. Do you understand that nuclear family was called nuclear family because it was largely invented in the 50s with nuclear power? It's not the natural way that we lived. You fucking clowns. People lived in multi-generational households. Jesus Christ. All of this is very strange. The 28th launch is also strangely timed, coming at a moment when many people have a heightened concern about how their menstrual data could be handed over to law enforcement and used to prosecute them in places where abortion has been criminalized, or else invade their privacy through bulk data collection by data brokers, something Congress has said it will investigate. In 28's privacy policy, the company says it will turn over data from the app to law enforcement in response to a court order, law, or legal process, but it adds only to the extent legally required. Yeah, give your menstrual cycle to Peter Thiel, and then when you get an abortion, he'll turn you in so that you get prosecuted. This all reads like Nick Mullen bits. No, those are at least funny. Are you watching the stream unsubbed? You're making income inequality worse. You are doing anti-praxis. We are the only Twitch stream that will not accept scam advertisers, and I will never fuck you over by selling you crap.